Hey guys, going on? Got this yard machines in here. If you saw other videos, you might have seen I replaced the belt on this one, but since it's here for service, I did notice that the skid shoes are both skid shoes are shot, as well as the scraper bar on the bottom. It's basically almost gone, and once I flip it on the front end, you'll see how bad the bolts are ground down. So this isn't going to be a typical replacement, but what I'm going to show you is how to replace both those skid shoes and the scraper bar. The reason I'm saying that is because I don't know if those bolts are going to be able to be just taken off with an impact, or if I'm going to have to grind and cut them off. So if you come across this, you don't want to leave this go this long, because what happens is you'll start to grind away your actual auger in the back and the bottom. Then you have nothing to bolt to anymore, and you're actually losing space here, and then it's a whole tire rebuild or replacement. You don't want to do that. That's a lot of work or expensive, or just not worth fixing. I've done it in the past where I've replaced it, but for this, we caught it just in time. So we're gonna put new skid shoes on there, new scraper bar, shave plate on the bottom, and I'll show you how that's done. First thing we're gonna do, you're gonna lose a little bit of fuel out of here, so I like to have a rag readily available. So we're gonna flip this on its front end, and then you can see there, these bolts are ground down to almost nothing, so it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge maybe to get those off. I hope not, but the impact wrencher might be able to get them, and then we'll pull the side ones off. This is a standard Stens 22-inch for the MTD scraper bar shave plate, part number 780-424. I'll put a link in the description for the 22-inch, but I'll probably put it in for a 24, 26, 28-inch, and 30-inch anyway. And then these are the skid shoes. Part number I will find, and I'll put it in the description as well. But these are going to replace the sides, and this is going to go in the back. So let's get these guys off first. Let's see if we can get these off. All right, that's a good sign. So I'm probably going to end up replacing these bolts because of they're ground away halfway down. That's save that washer. There's the old nut again, ground down. They all look like that. So probably get rid of those, but save the washer. Like I said, I'm getting a little lucky here, because sometimes these nuts are so far gone, they'll either just spin, or they won't, you can't bite them, grab them with the socket, and they end up just, you have to cut them off with the grinding tool, cutting wheel. I'm going to save the 4 washers, because these are kind of tension springs, and I'm going to get rid of all the other, get new stuff on the other. I'm going to turn it here a little bit. Let's get the skid shoes off. These are all 1/2-inch nuts. Some are 7/16, and some are 9/16. So we'll get that off. There's your old scraper bar, shave plate, and if we compare that to the new one, you can see how much has been shaved off. About halfway. Any further, we're going to be getting into the nuts, and we're also going to shave away those those bolts too far that we're never going to be able to put it on. So let's get that out of the way. And then here's again the parts that were replaced: the old skid shoes, the old scraper bar, and a bunch of nuts and bolts, the carriage bolts, and the nuts that were all worn out. And I got some new hardware here, and let's get this shave plate back on. I'm just going to put a 1 nut bolt through. These are carrier bolts with a square collar. Washer, and a nut. Just kind of hold that in place for a second. So when we do this bolt over here, auger's in the way. There we go. Then the skid shoe, then the washers, and then the nuts. And don't worry about adjusting these right now. Just kind of get them on finger tight or whatever, because we're going to adjust the ride height once we get it flat. You can see the difference here. You can see the difference, how that shaved completely off. And we get the new one coming in. Again, these things should wear. You don't want to wear your auger, and the shave plate will wear slowly, but these should wear off the fastest. Put that in. 2 washers, 2 nuts. Just finger tight it. Kind of get a rough estimate of your height. Again, don't worry about that right now. Okay, now we got to get this bolt through. Washer, nut. And then the last one. Now we're going to come in with the impact again. Again, these are 1/2 inch. Hold the carriage bolt up against so it doesn't spin. All right, got those tightened up down here. Now we got to do the ride height, so let's flip it back on its end. All right, so then you want to have it on a pretty flat surface. The concrete floor here is the best surface instead of like the softer pad here. So what I like to do here to get the ride height correctly, I like to lift the shave plate up just a little bit. So I use like either a nail or a bracket, something like this, and I'll lift up on the snowblower and set that bracket right in the center, just so we have about 1/8 of an inch clearance underneath the lip here. Okay, now some people prefer that grinding against the concrete. I don't. I like to have it off, even if it leaves a slight bit of snow underneath, it's going to be good enough, close enough. And then I'm going to come over to the side. So as long as this is loose enough, we can get the skid shoe to touch the concrete, and then we're going to tighten it down. And then we'll go to the other side, make sure that's loose enough to touch. So this shoe is on the floor, then we'll tighten it down. Then we'll come back here, take the spacer off, and now we'll leave it with just a little bit of space here so that we aren't completely on the ground, but we got about 1/8 to 1/16 of an inch. That'll save your shave plate from wearing out too fast and just wear on your skid shoes. Just make sure you adjust these guys periodically so that as they wear, you might have to move them down 1/8 of an inch at a time. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe.